next friend, Miss Alex White. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Tom?
I'm good. It's exciting to see you. I'm going to say this. People say, who are the best guitarists in the game right now? And they'll say, oh, I like the guy in Fish. Right? Or I like the guy from Government Cheese or whatever band. You know who I say? Miss Alex White.
That's right.
Because you listen to it, you get that heavy sound. Because White Mystery, it's you and your crazy brother.
Francis.
I'm not saying you're not crazy, though. It's like, it's you and your brother. It's guitar and you singing, and he sings some.
Yep.
And he's drumming. And you guys fill the whole thing up. It's crazy how full that gets. And your guitar sound, that's heavy duty. Like, when did you know you were just like, yeah, I can lay this down and people have to deal with it?
When I was about 15 years old, I kind of let out this guttural sound. And it must have been a little bit of puberty, a little bit of what I was listening to at the time. And I think it's the combo of the guitar and the vocals, and it freaks people out, man.
That they can't handle the force of it.
But it's also like the gear that you use. Mm-hmm. You know, so I play a Rickenbacker.
Okay.
And play through a big orange amp.
Yeah.
And I have this...
like, who plays through an orange amp? Like, which one of your heroes made you want to play through an orange amp?
Well, you watch the old Black Sabbath videos, and they're playing through orange.
Okay.
You know, and they started in 1968, which was like the same year the MC5, Sabbath, Zeppelin, they were all going. Mm-hmm. And it represents this era, and you definitely get a different sound out of those electronics.
Yeah. It's like the 60s were over it. Even though it was 68, it's like the 70s showed up 2 years before the 70s started. Because that first Led Zeppelin album is kind of the start of the 70s. Yeah. In a way, even though it's still the 60s.
Although tomorrow I'm doing something, I'm fulfilling one of my dreams, which is I'm going to visit the Electro Harmonics factory tomorrow, which is where they produce the Big Muff pedal, which is this iconic pedal, you know, of Dinosaur...
Super Fuzz Big Muff.
Yeah.
One of the all-time favorite records. The Mudhoney record, because they had that Big Muff pedal and the Super Fuzz pedal.
Yeah, and they make them in New York, so I'm stoked. And Mike Matthews, the guy who runs this joint, who's always chomping on a cigar. He's got a parrot on one shoulder.
A parrot?
A parrot. And I just can't wait.
So you're going to go check out some pedals?
Yeah.
And stomp on the pedals?
Yeah.
So White Mystery, because your first band was Miss Alex White, the orchestra, right? What was that? I'm getting the name.
That was like
off.
my third or fourth band, but know, maybe
that was the first time you said, "Here I am on the national stage."
Here I am, everybody.
On In the Red?
It was on In the Red, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And what was the name of that record again?
So the first one was actually Miss Alex White and Chris Playboy, who is my pal. We were a two-piece. I was like 17 years old, 16, 17.
Okay.
And he passed away.
Oh.
And Larry from In the Red was like, you got to keep playing. Mm-hmm. You got to keep going. You're too young to give up now from, being depressed about it all. And I said, look, if you put out the Chris Playboy concert on an In the Red album, which was the first one.
Okay.
That I'd continue playing music. And then Space and Time came out on In the Red and all sorts of stuff.
And then suddenly, your brother, how do you suddenly say, I'm actually going to do this thing that's just going to be me and my brother?
And Fran the Man.
Yeah.
Francis Scott Key White.
Because for people who don't know, it's an exciting thing to see because you both have this amazing red hair. It's like an explosion of red hair on stage. it's like, and it's red hair everywhere.
Yeah.
When it's the two of you up there, and he's going nuts, you're going nuts, and it's so when did you say this is going to be the next thing, me and my brother?
Yeah, well, Fran and I were like 4 and 2 years old when we started playing music together.
Okay.
And over time, I started doing what I did when I was 13, growing up in the city of Chicago. Use your imagination what we were doing on those mean streets. You know what I mean?
No, I can figure.
So we kept Francis safe, you know, until he was about 20. And then I said, all right, dude, let's go. And since 2008, so we started the band on April 20th, 2008.
So you started on 420.
On 420. And since then...
You hear that, Mike?
Hey. Puff.
Mike's really not into... Mike's more into...
Whippets.
He likes Coors Light and Whippets. That's his scene.
Strict diet.
Right?
Yeah.
You're never sure which one. He just goes back. He has a Whippet in one hand and a cold taste of the Rockies in his other hand.
He calls it the double silver bullet.
So you and your brother...
Yeah.
You start getting in a van together. First, you make a record.
It's actually a Pontiac Vibe. We've been touring in a hatchback.
That's right. Yes.
It's got 220,000 miles on it.
Oh my God.
And we've played almost 1,000 shows since that date.
I'll say this is the other thing I admire about you and your brother. More you than your brother because he's not here.
Don't listen, Fran.
Sorry, Fran.
We love you.
If Fran was here, I'd be saying, "Look, Fran, this is what I admire about you. A little more than your sister.
Your height, you're tall. We love it."
No, you know what it is? This is like a self-motivated industry thing. It's like you're just doing it. You put the stuff out. You get sometimes labels put singles and things out, right?
Yep.
But on the whole, you're putting the records out.
Yeah. I started a label when I was 17 years old, and we were putting 45s out. PayPal just came out as a thing. We're like, oh, we can make an Angel Fire template website, slap a PayPal button on there, and start a record label.
Yeah.
And it was very, kind of early in the internet. And we started the label, and I was like, I can get a hang of this. And, Larry in the Red put out all those Miss Alex White albums when I was in college. But for White Mystery, I realized if we're going to put out the volume and quantity of releases that we'd like to, we got to, got to take it into our own paws.
Yeah, and you did take it into your own paws.
Yeah.
And how many records are there 6 albums now?
It's 8.
8.
We've released a new album every year on 420 since 2010.
You hear that, Mike? Right?
We're crazy.
So every year.
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Yeah, 2009.
You've put out an album on 420.
420. And we have a different city every year that we honor with our 420 party. So it's been in Amsterdam and San Francisco, Michigan. It was in New York. It was in 2012, I believe, and we had a rock and roll circus at this place called Big Skyworks, where we had our doppelganger, this woman who looks just like me, who has a Keith Richards ventriloquist dummy, and contortionists and acrobats, and the band Tunnel of Love, who I absolutely love.
Sure.
The Psyched played that, and so every year. But what's crazy is 2018 is our 10-year anniversary as a band.
So what's that mean? What are you going to do for that?
Well, it's a mystery. But Francis and I said in 2008, we were young. And we're thinking 10 years, that's a really long time.
Yeah.
And we were committing to this band. We said, no other bands, we can't get married. We can't move away from one another, and we can't cut our hair.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
You and your brother made a decade-long pact.
Yep.
We're doing this band for 10 years.
10 freaking years.
No one gets married.
Nope. Can't move to a different city, because you fall in love on tour. You're like, that's it. Austin, I'm staying here. I fell in love. And I had seen it happen so many times in my other groups. I was like, this one needs to be for real.
So you and your brother have held each other to this pact.
Yes.
For 10 years.
Yep.
You cannot fall in love. You cannot not live in Chicago.
Right.
And we do this band year round.
Yep.
And we don't cut our hair.
Yeah, we're crazy.
So when's the last time you cut your hair then?
I did, I have to admit, trim my bangs because I couldn't see anything.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's just a hazardous situation.
It's a sheepdog kind of thing that I'm working through. But Francis, he's been cut free since 2008.
Because his hair is like...
It's like super long. But we have different texture hair.
Yeah.
Even though people think we're twins, we're not. Mm-hmm. I have kinky, curly red hair, and he has luxurious flowing locks like Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
So it's easier for you to get by because your hair at least can spring this way and that way.
Right, yeah.
10 years.
Yeah. So now that means that we have to like kind of...
Who suggested this? Is this how you and him have operated this whole time where that was just like, yeah, let's do that?
Well, we started, and a couple months into it, we realized, okay, if we're going to really do this, and the no relationship thing is part of this larger concept, which is remaining independent. So like that meant like we never signed up with like a booking agency or like a licensing agent. We remained completely independent. And when you're on tour in Japan, halfway around the world, you don't want some dude calling you like, oh, let's talk, because you got to load in and you got to rock.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have distractions when you're out there. But that means that my life is going to change a lot. On April 20th, 2018, I'm going to have to become a real woman.
So then you're both going to fall in love on April 21st of 2018. Will you have a dual... What about a white... wedding, a white mystery wedding, right?
Oh, yeah, you could be the officiant.
I will do the. I will. I've done a wedding. I did vows for someone at a wedding for my friends, Paloma, and Hatch and Rob Hatch Miller. Paloma Busse. We did their vows. Yeah, if you and your brother get married on the same day, I will do I will officiate that wedding.
Cool. Speed dial, Tom. Yo, hey.
So now you're in Chicago. You and your brother have held steadfast to being in Chicago.
Yeah. Born and raised in the city, though. You know, I think it's a good place to be for rock and roll.
Sure.
It's rough.
Because I hear, once in a while, I hear a little inflection in your voice that says, oh, that's right. They're from Chicago. And I'm not saying that judgy way. But what I am saying...
A perceptive way.
That nobody likes that in Chicago likes that pizza though, right? That super thick. It's like a cake with tomato sauce on top.
It's a pizza pie.
Yeah.
And the ingredients are in a reverse order. So you got the sausage on the bottom, then the cheese, and then the big chunky tomato sauce.
Yes, come in. Pizza delivery. Oh, pizza delivery. Oh my, please come in. We gotta go. Okay. It was so nice to see you. Bye. Thank you.
Toodles.
Bye.
Wait, where's the pizza?
There's pizza out there.
Okay,
you want
cool.
pizza? Wait.
As long as you're not like smiting my pizza heritage.
No, I'm just saying that certain kind of pizza, I feel like it's sometimes more touristy than people who actually live in Chicago aren't like loading up on that deep dish pizza. They'd be falling asleep all over the place. Well, it's a city where people are working hard. Everybody would be napping if they actually ate that pizza every day.
We got it once a week when I was a kid on Friday nights. We got the deep dish pizza.
Because your parents wanted you to fall asleep. That's why they gave you the deep dish on Friday nights.
You know, I love a good Chicago-style hot dog. That is very good. Legitimately.
Let me think. I'm going to now.
Let's quiz you. I'll give you $100 if you can think of every ingredient. Imaginary bucks. Okay, Tom, go for it. What are the ingredients for Chicago?
First, you start with the hot dog bun.
Yes.
Then you put a hot dog on it.
How are they treated?
There's butter on them, I'm sure, right? They don't butter poured all over them.
They're steamed.
They're steamed.
Continue.
There's like cucumbers on them, right?
Pickles. Pickle spear.
Pickles, cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Relish.
Yep. What kind?
Dill.
Neon green.
Neon green.
Radioactive.
Because there's that one hot dog dude who went out of business, right? Isn't there like a hot dog, like...
The connoisseur?
What's the hot dog thing that was open 24 hours that everybody in Chicago loved? Hot Dog Man, or what was it called?
Well, there's a couple different famous hot dog dudes. There was Hot Doug.
Hot Doug, that's the one.
But it wasn't 24 hours. It was very selective hours, and, Iggy Pop went there. He had to wait in line, just like the commoner.
Sure.
The common hot dog
he
lover.
Is like he would wait on. What do you think? He's not going to... I could picture, though, maybe now he'd just be like, could I get to the front of the line with the hot dogs? I don't want to have to...
I took Fred Armisen there back in the day.
You took Fred?
Dogs.
Okay.
Yep. And but we have to continue with the ingredients, which are sliced tomatoes.
Sauerkraut.
No, that's Seattle. Seattle does the cream cheese.
It's everywhere.
With the funky sauerkraut. We don't do the sauerkraut. It ain't no brat. Celery salt. Chopped onions. Sliced tomatoes. And a little bit of mustard.
And just a little, just because there's no more room.
But you know what we don't like on our hot dogs?
Ketchup. Yes, right? If you saw someone eating ketchup in a white mystery shirt and they had a hot dog with ketchup on it, what would you do?
I'd have to slap it out of their hands.
You'd say...
Out of honor.
And they had a white mystery shirt on.
Yeah. I say, you don't do that. You don't do that, sir.
Or madam.
What they say is that ketchup is for babies. They say ketchup on your hot dogs is for babies. That's Chicago style.
You hear that, Dudio? Ketchup on hot dogs is for babies.
Remember that. Labor Day weekend.
He's a big baby. Look, he's Southern.
Oh.
This guy.
Okay.
He's from like Mississippi or somewhere.
Really?
Where are you from? Virginia. Close enough.
Oh, my God.
Down there. Condiment country.
But I had a Philly cheesesteak this morning.
Okay.
We played Philadelphia last night. That was really good.
So this morning you had a cheesesteak.
Yeah. I had the provolone with the peppers and the onions. It was delicious. There's Pat's and Gino's across the street from one another.
And where'd you go?
We went to Pat's. We were strongly advised. We went to Gino's last time.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
Ironically, you were in Philly. But the idea that you had a cheesesteak for breakfast is maybe the most Chicago thing you could do that I've ever heard. Is that you woke up and you're just like, it's cheesesteak time.
Yep.
How early are you eating this cheesesteak in the morning?
Like 11 a.m.
Okay, that's early.
Rock and roll time. That's like the crack of dawn.
For you, that's the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Because you were playing. You're out and about. You're doing your thing.
Yep. We're on tour. That's why I'm here.
So where are you playing next? Where's White Mystery playing next?
Where are we playing next? Where are we playing next? Thursday, we're playing St. Vitus with that awesome band from Italy, Judah. Have you heard of them?
Yes, they're great.
Giuda.
Oh, my God, they're so good. Yeah.
I saw them in Chicago a couple times, and that lead singer has so much charisma. You just, keep your eyes on him. So we're playing with those dudes, St. Vitus this Thursday, so in a couple days. And then we're playing Meltasia. Meltasia.
Where's Meltasia?
It's up in upstate New York. Rocky Erickson from the 13th Floor Elevators is playing. Death Valley Girls. I have a hunch you might like
Wrote
them.
one of my favorite songs, Rocky Erickson. One of the saddest songs ever is this song, You Don't Love Me Yet.
No.
Do you know that song?
Which one is that? With the Elevators or like Rocky
It's
Erickson's solo?
It's that early, it's like 1970. It's like right when he was kind of fading in and out of the between worlds. He was
right.
And this song is such a beautiful song. It will make you cry when you hear this song.
God, I love songs that can.
Oh, he's and his shows. We saw him a while ago when he started coming back around, and it's like his voice is still great. He's still doing it. It's really that is the definition of a living legend.
Yeah.
Rocky Erickson.
Yeah, so he's playing. Raekwon is playing.
The chef.
The chef, is that his?
From Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
So Raekwon the chef.
Yep.
Wait, what? This is the weirdest bill ever. So Raekwon the chef and Rocky Erickson.
Correct.
And White Mystery.
Yep. Death Valley Girls. Oh, that band Starcrawler that's totally blowing up from L.A. right now.
And where is this now?
It's in upstate New York. If you go to whitemystery.com, the info's there. And then we play, Rochester. They got the garbage plates there in Rochester. Have you ever tried one of those?
I've never tried. No, let me see. The garbage plate is like fries and chili and cheese.
Right.
gravy and the whole thing, like whatever they have laying around in the kitchen, they pretty much throw on the garbage
on
plate.
that thing. Yep.
Do you think of each city in food terms?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Then what's your favorite city? To what city are you just like, oh, I can't wait till we get there?
It's more like I have like a single place in every city that I'm stoked to go to. So in Brooklyn, I go to Pies and Thighs.
Okay,
I kind of go straight there, and I get some fried chicken. In Oklahoma City, there's this place called Pho Lien Hoa, and it's the best Vietnamese food in the continental United States.
Okay,
freaking amazing.
Now, like if you went to like Bayonne, for example. Bayonne. I think the thing is there's a quick check. Mike is from Bayonne out there, and he's always saying that he said their quick check is Zagat rated. It's a 5-star Zagat. Right? See, it sounds as I'm saying it out loud. It sounds fishy.
Yeah,
I think he's lying.
Okay,
I don't think quick check is Zagat rated unless there's 2 Zagats. Probably Zagnut rated. He probably means they sell Zagnuts there.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
We love them.
Right, Mike? Yeah. He'll say yes to anything at this point. Yeah. So checked out.
Zante's Indian pizza, though, in San Francisco is off the chain.
Okay, so that's what you look forward to. You just know where you're going.
Yep.
Food-wise.
Yes.
And you just go and you eat.
Yep.
And then you rock.
Yep.
Then you load it up. Next city. Whatever you do, don't cut your hair or don't fall in love. Have you ever had to say to your brother, don't you dare fall in love? Like you see like hearts in his eyes, like a cartoon, and then you have to go, do you remember the promise?
Fran is a big softie. He's very romantic, and he tends to have a gal pal.
Okay.
Which is permissible.
Well, that's, yes, it's not saying, you guys, this is not, you're not monks.
Right. But kind of.
Kind of, I guess.
I mean, all we do is like play rock and roll, tour, DJ, and then when we're at home, we came out with White Mystery TV. We have all this spare time. We have a weekly TV show that we do now that's insane.
And all of this goes through whitemystery.com.
Right, yeah.
And now you have this coffee. You brought coffee.
Yeah, we got White Mystery Whole Bean, Metropolis Coffee Company, Maine, Chicago. Delicious, bold.
I was so worried it's going to be like laced, like THC coffee.
Be careful, Tom. It's crinkling. You can hear it. It's real. But it's roasted in Chicago. It's fantastic because, we actually need it to exist and to survive, so now we sell it also.
How much coffee do you drink, Miss Alex White?
I drink about 8 cups of coffee a day.
Okay.
Yeah. What's
the cutoff? When do you say, I don't have, do you have a time cutoff for the day?
When the sun goes down.
When the sun goes down, there's no more caffeine.
Then I transition to alcohol.
Mm-hmm. That's
pretty much. Yeah. My kidneys are like, no.
There's this guy, this comedian, Connor O'Malley, very funny guy. He gave me this stuff. It's this caffeine gum that's like that they chew in, like it's like military grade. It's like a pack of gum, but it's caffeinated. And I'm just like, I chew a piece of this. I'm telling you, within 3 minutes, I was like, I was so wired because it's gum. It went immediately into my, like it broke right down. I felt it. And he's like, yeah, this is what it's military grade.
Yeah.
I think they're like in combat. They need this gum to kick in right away.
Mm-hmm. I'd have Nicorette on one side and that thing on the other side.
So your body would be like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, except one's a Nicorette patch and the other one is military grade chewing gum.
Or Nicoderm, the gum. So you got the caffeine gum.
So you pop them both in at the same time. Yeah, you
get
might
wild, Tom.
I'm waiting for. I think April 20th, 2018 is a good thing for everyone in a variety of ways. Do you feel like you're going to say to yourself, I'm clicking it down one notch, like click, just to not be like foot all the way to the floor?
Ooh.
When do you lift the foot a little bit?
Yeah, I
Miss Alex White.
The intention was that day to be that, right? Yeah. Where it's like, maybe I'll become like a college professor or a homemaker or something like that.
Because your mom is a photographer.
Right.
How's your mom doing?
She's great.
Is she good?
Yeah. She her whole thing that she's known for is that she photographed the disco demolition derby.
Yes. Chicago. Speaking of Chicago.
Yeah.
There was this DJ, Steve Dahl. Steve Dahl.
Yep.
Who did this thing at a White Sox game.
Yep.
Where they had a doubleheader going, and he said it was disco demolition night. Bring your disco records, and between games, we will smash them or set a bonfire. What was like? So your mom was there documenting it. Was she doing it just as for anybody, or was she just a photographer just covering an event?
So at the time, she was 24 years old. Mm-hmm. And what sets her pictures apart and creates all this demand for them, mm-hmm. like when the BBC asks for them and that kind of thing now, is that she was the only kind of known person to this day mm-hmm. who was shooting it from the stands. Okay. From the person in her mid-20s kind of perspective, where everyone else, Chicago Tribune, the Sun-Times, they're on the field. They're taking pictures of all the people in the audience from the field and of the players, but my mom had the experience of being a rock and roller. Yeah, this is like the pre-Instagram era, right? Like mm-hmm. by a long shot. It was July 12th, 1979.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were playing the Detroit Tigers.
So they're in the stands. Mm-hmm. Your mom's taking pictures of these maniacs who turned it into like a riot, mm-hmm. a low to mid-level riot, not mm-hmm. an actual, but enough for a baseball game to get called off. The second game was forfeited, and your mom's snapping pictures, and they're great. They're great pictures.
Mm-hmm. They're cool.
And so you had this. So there's a little bit of an artistic thing in the family there, to where it feels like it's like, okay, we want to be in a band, because you said you were 4.
Yeah, very young, playing piano, mm-hmm. banging away, and then I heard the Who mm-hmm. when I was like 11. But I got all these great golden oldies. You were talking about tapes mm-hmm. With John Spencer, and I'm flashing back to all of these golden oldies tape cassettes mm-hmm. that I'd get from the dollar store that changed my life when I was a young person.
Well, what's the song that suddenly you're just like, your head exploded?
Baba O'Reilly when I was like 11. Mm-hmm. But when I was super young and I had these tapes, it was like, I'm a traveling man, made a lot of stops.
So Ricky Nelson.
All over the world. I was like, what does he mean that he has a different woman in every city? I want that too.
And then you looked at your 2-year-old brother.
Francis, we're going on a wacky, wacky adventure.
You said, hang tight, little brother. The call will come in 18 years from now.
You will be a man then.
And you will have a drum set, and then we're hitting the road.
Yeah, and we've really covered some ground, dude. And we've gotten to know you also in that period of time, which is special.
Terry and me, and it's you. I'll say this, because I know you're busy. You're going to go DJ tonight?
Yeah.
You're DJing? Where are you DJing?
Soho House.
Okay.
In the Meatpacking District, as you call it.
What was that flip thing on your...
Oh, I'm wearing a limited edition swatch from 2003 that little face flips over. I got a memory foam wristband.
All right. I just didn't know if it seemed like the kind of thing like a weird cyanide pill would come out of.
A piece of caffeine gum.
I'm telling you, this caffeine gum is bad news. I think I shaved 5 years off my life with that one piece.
Ooh.
I'll say this. You, Miss Alex White, whitemystery.com, your band, and the way you approach it, you and your brother approach this thing, I love it. The records are great. The spirit of everything is great. It is completely inspirational when people set a goal and do it, and you chase it, and you chase it hard. And you have not lifted your foot from the pedal for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I know that the anniversary's coming up. I hope you say, you and Francis look and you say, look, maybe we're allowed to fall in love, but other than that, what if it's this? The only way we can fall in love is if they get in the van. Oh, man. They ride in the back.
Yeah.
Right?
Or like Beverly Hillbilly style, like on a rocking chair.
Yeah, they could go up top. Yeah. It's still us in the Pontiac.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
I love that car.
You say, we're going to go a little bit harder now. Right when everybody thinks we're going to lighten up, Now we doubled down.
Yeah.
But it is so great. I love it. It is very it is inspirational when you just to see people going for it, and you are the definition of that.
Thanks, Tam.
And nobody, again, best guitarist going, Alex White, top of the list. So I'm going to let you go DJ now. What song should I play off FYMS, your most recent album?
Yeah. Let's see. I love Bad Neptune.
I'm going to hear Bad Neptune. So let's listen to this. Everybody, whitemystery.com, Alex White, thank you for coming by. It's so exciting that you were here, and I love it. All right, let's listen to Bad Neptune from your most recent album. And I'm not saying what FYMS stands for either.
Yeah, find out yourself, kids.
Thank you.